Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're asking the question, is Thai immigration going overboard? I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Pattaya Mail, that's pattayamail.com. Article is titled, British Manager of Pattaya Soi 6 Bar Arrested for Human Trafficking. Now, the excerpt we're going to quote from this article does not go to the thrust of this article really much at all. I don't exactly know what's going on precisely in the body of the rest of this article, and so I urge those who are watching this video, yes, of course, go check out that article for yourself. I'm not going to comment on the rest of the body of the article because it looks very nebulous. I can't ascertain what's going on there, so I'm just going to leave it without comment. But the title being what it is, pattayamail.com. I'm going to quote this small excerpt, though, because I thought this was interesting. Quoting directly, Pattaya had shut down bars on Walking Street and detained tourists checking their passports and visas for overstayers. The move contrasted starkly with the coronavirus pandemic when authorities did everything they could to make foreigners feel welcome. Well, one, I think that's a bit of a misnomer. The whole country was locked down. I mean, foreigners feel welcome, okay, Then you had the Phuket sandbox, which, yes, I kind of euphemistically refer to that as Devil's Island, because once you got onto it, you couldn't get off for a certain period of time. Now, all joking aside, it wasn't that bad, but I would not say that anything was conducive to tourists during the lockdowns. That far from it. Now, in the immediate aftermath of it, and really over the past 9 months or so, yes, I think authorities and everybody in the tourism sector realized that, yes, we needed to make some changes. We need to get the tourists back. But, yeah, now, were they putting up sort of checkpoints to check for overstayers anywhere? No, because quite frankly, there weren't anybody here. There weren't a large number of foreigners in Thailand. There weren't any tourists in Thailand. The question sort of posed by this video is, again, checking passports and visas sort of on the street. You'll hear about this from time to time, and it seems to be kind of a rare set of incidences where this will happen. You'll hear of, there's immigration police checking people's passports. Now, inspections in offices, we've seen that frequently. That just will happen from time to time. Either Department of Employment under the Department of Labor or the Immigration Bureau itself will oftentimes conduct inspections of various business premises in order to ascertain whether or not those on the premises have proper documentation, if they are in lawful status and they have work authorization. However, it's pretty darn rare to hear about just sort of street checkpoints. They happen with a lot of rarity. I cited this because I found it a little bit concerning, and I'm hoping this doesn't become a major trend because I don't think it's very good for tourism. And quite honestly, I think it's unlikely that will happen. Immigration police have better things to do oftentimes than just set up random checkpoints and just start basically checking anybody with blue eyes or somebody that doesn't look like a Thai for their immigration status. It's just not something that they're going to do on the day-to-day. But in certain instances where they feel, or it seems where they feel like it's warranted, yeah, they can do roundups, as we discussed in the crackdowns involving Big Jokes some years ago. Yeah, they took a heavy enforcement stance and really went out and started enforcing Thai immigration law. Meanwhile, another thing to bear in mind is we've sort of come out of the high season now, and I think there's kind of an internal mentality within Thai immigration that, folks that are here in the high season, there's sort of a presumption of tourist intent, if you will. And then after you get out of high season, where we are over here now in April, which is pretty darn hot here in Thailand, I'm here to tell you right now, can't wait for Thai New Year to get going where people can start. Well, for a day, I enjoy being splashed with water. The course of about 5 days, it becomes a little bit too much, but it's nice for the cool down, is what I'm trying to say. And then you get over into sort of the early summer into the midsummer, and yeah, immigration is probably wanting to know what people are doing. Sort of, okay, you came here in January and now you're hanging out in Thailand still in June. What are you doing? I think that there's a presumption that, at that point, as we've discussed in other videos, you're kind of becoming like what we would call in the American context an intending immigrant without documentation. I think that presumption starts to arise more and more as you get further into the so-called low season. This is just my personal speculation, but it's based on years of experience, just kind of watching how immigration operates. I just think that's their paradigm. So again, a lot going on here. I urge folks who are watching this video, go check out that article because, again, it's very nebulous. I don't fully understand what's going on there, and I'm hoping Pati and Mail will keep us updated as to that. But I found it interesting, this one little excerpt about checking people for overstay. Yeah, it does occasionally happen. Does it happen very often? No, not really. If you're a tourist, and you really are a tourist, you really don't have a lot to worry about. But if you're somebody that's come here ostensibly as a tourist and you're not actually a tourist, you probably want to get into a more regularized status so as to stay here long-term legally and avoid having issues with something like a checkpoint that comes up checking for overstayers.